everyone, thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. In the presentation, we will discuss financial reporting for non-profit organizations. Our discussion will be divided into several parts, including accounting standard, the objective of financial reporting, user and components of financial statement, types of reports along with notes and classification, and finally, the common issues faced by non-profit organizations. Through this presentation, we aim to provide a clear understanding of how financial reporting supports transparency, accountability, and the sustainability of nonprofit organizations. Before, be- Before we begin, allow us to introduce our group. We are our team consisting of mentioned. We are from group 5 and each of us will present different parts of this topic. Let us begin. So before we get into the material, it would be good if we introduce who is in group 5. So these are in the names of the children in a group 5. For the first, my name is Perinda Putri Alvin with class NPM 3071. And Industry with class NPN 112, Rafika Sarvina 133, Mesa Anggita 159, Hanum Dwi 368, Sinda Naila 380, Ahmad Aulia 402. So in here I will explain for non-profit organization financial reporting standards. The financial reporting standard for non-profit organization in Indonesia now after to ISAC 35 interpretation of financial accounting standard 35 which has been effective since January 2020, replacing PSAK 45. ISAC 35 regulates the presentation of non-profit oriented financial reports. Foundation institution to be more transparent and relevant for donors and regulators. And furthermore, I will explain two financial reporting purposes and fund restriction scheme. PSAK No. 55 defines the purpose of non-profit financial reporting as providing relevant information to fulfill the interest of donors, creditors, members, organization managers, other parties who provide rescues to the non-profit organization. And for the restriction scheme, in preparing financial statement, organization must pay close attention to the nature of fund restrictions, which include permanent restriction, temporary restrict contribution, and interstate contribution. For the material, I will explain for my friends.
Non-profit financial statement and their objective. Non-profit financial statement are reports that show the financial condition of organization, usually receive funds from donors, grant, or government support. The reports typically include the statement of financial position, statement of activity, cash flow statement, and notes to financial statement. The main objective is to provide financial information to stakeholders such as management, donors, and the public. Financial statements also function as a form of accountability, showing that funds are used properly and in line with the organization goal. In addition, they support decision making, help evaluate organizational performance, and increase transparency. Clear and transparent report can build trust and ensure the sustainability of organization.
User of non-profit organization financial statement consists of several parties who have an interest in the organization. Donors use financial statement to determine whether the fund provided have been used according to their intended purpose. Management use financial statement as a basic for planning, controlling, and decision making. The government use financial statement to assess the organization compliance with applicable regulation. In addition, the public and organization members view financial statement as a form of transparency and accountability. The component of non-profit organization financial statement consists of the statement of financial position, statement of activities, statement of cash flow, and notes to financial statement. The statement of financial position presents the organization asset, liabilities, and net asset. The statement of activities explains revenues, expense, and change in net asset during a specific period. The statement of cash flow describes the inflow and outflow of cash. The notes to financial statement provide additional explanation so that the information in the financial statement can be understood more clearly.
Okay, next I will explain the statement of financial position and the statement of activities. The statement of financial position shows the financial condition of an organization. It helps us understand whether the organization can continue its service, manage its finance, and meet its obligation. It also provides information about liquidity, financial flexibility, and the need for external funding. Meanwhile, the statement of activities shows how the organization uses its resources. It explains the impact of transaction on net asset, the relationship between financial activities, and how resources are used to support program or service. In conclusion, these two statements help us understand the financial condition and performance of the organization.
Okay, next, we have the statement of cash flow. The primary purpose of this statement is to provide information about a company's cash receipts and cash disbursement during a specific accounting period. In other words, it tells us where cash came from and where it went. There are two methods used to prepare this statement. The first one is direct method. Under this approach, the major classes of gross cash receipts and gross cash disbursement are disclosed directly. For example, cash received from customers and cash paid to suppliers are each reported as separate line items. This method gives a clearer and more transparent picture of actual cash flow. The second method is indirect method, which is more commonly used in practice. This method starts with net income or net loss and then adjusts it for non-cash items, such as depreciation and amortization, as well as gains or losses on asset disposal, and changes in working capital components like accounting receivable, inventory, and accounts payable. The goal is to reconcile net income to the actual net cash provided by operating activities. Okay, next we have the notes to financial statement. These are not just supplementary, they are an inseparable and integral part of the financial statement themselves. The notes accompany the balance sheet, income statement, statement of change in equity, and statement of change in financial position, providing the context needed to fully understand the number presented. The notes typically contain 5 key elements. First, general information about the institution, such as its legal form, domestic, and nature of operation. Second, the accounting policies applied in preparing the financial statement. This is important because different policies can significantly affect how figures are reported. Third, explanation of specific accounts that require further elaboration, for instance the breakdown of long-term debt or the composition of fixed assets. Fourth, events occurring after the balance sheet date, meaning significant transactions or developments that happen after the reporting period but before the financial statements were issued. And the last one is other additional information considered necessary, whether quantitative or qualitative in nature, that helps users make informed decisions. In summary, the notes serve as the backbone of transparency in financial reporting. Without them, the numbers on the face of the financial statement would tell an incomplete story.
Moving on to our next topic, let's discuss about the classification of net assets, particularly in the context of non-profit organizations. Net assets represent the residual interest in an organization's assets after deducting its liabilities. Basically, what's left over for the organization. Now, not all net assets are the same. They are classified into three categories based on the restriction placed on their use. The first category is unrestricted net assets. This type of net asset generally includes revenue from service, the sale of goods, contribution, and dividends or investment income, minus the expense incurred to earn that revenue. Restriction on the use of unrestricted net assets may arise from the nature of the organization itself, its operating environment, and the organizational goals stated in the Articles of Incorporation, as well as from contractual agreements with suppliers, creditors, and other parties associated with the organization. In simpler terms, unrestricted net assets give the organization the most flexibility. Management can use these funds for any purpose that aligns with the organization's missions, whether it's paying salaries, covering operational costs, or funding new programs. This is why most non-profits aim to grow their unrestricted reserves, because it provides financial stability and freedom. The second category is temporarily restricted net assets. Example of temporary restriction may apply to contribution intended for specific operating activities, investment for a specific period of time used during a specific future period, or the acquisition of fixed assets. Information regarding this type of restrictions may be presented as separate elements within the temporarily restricted net asset group or disclosed accordingly. To put it simply, a donor might give money specifically for a scholarship program that runs next year, or for building a new facility within the next 3 years. Once the time passes or the purpose is fulfilled, the restriction is lifted, and the funds move to the unrestricted category. This is what makes them temporary. The third and final category is permanently restricted net assets. This restriction may be applied to assets such as land or artworks donated for specific purpose to be maintained and not for sale. Assets donated for investment to generate permanent income, also known as endorsement. Unlike the previous category, permanently restricted net assets can never be used freely. The principal must be maintained intact forever. What the organization can typically use is only the income generated from those assets. A classic example is an endowment fund where the original donation stays invested and only the interest or returns are used for operation. So to summarize, net assets in non-profit organizations are classified based on how much freedom the organization has in using them. Unrestricted give full flexibility. Temporarily restricted comes with conditions that will eventually expire, and permanently restricted stay locked in purpose indefinitely. Understanding this classification is crucial for financial reporting, transparency, and accountability in non-profit organizations.
Okay, in this slide, we will discuss about issues in financial reporting of non-profit organization. Recently, many issues have emerged regarding the misuse of non-governmental organization or non-profit organization for personal interests, such as cases of fake fundraising and concerning incident at the Tresnaweda Social Institution in Parepare. This highlights the importance of transparency and proper financial reporting for non-profit organizations. In Indonesia, the development of non-profit organizations, especially in the fields of religion and education, has been growing rapidly, leading to increased public attention toward accountability and financial oversight.
The public is therefore expected to be more critical and actively respond to and monitor this organization. That's our presentation from Group 5. I'm sorry if I had a mistake. Thank you for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.